The town of Inuvik acknowledges that we are located on the traditional lands of the Gwich'in and Inuvialuit people of the Northwest Territories. We are grateful to be allowed the opportunity to learn, work, and live on Treaty 11 lands within the Gwich'in settlement area and the lands of the Inuvialuit final agreement. Before we adopt the agenda, I just want to take the opportunity to thank Councillor Gallons for his service to the town. You'll definitely be missed. It's great seeing a councillor come to a meeting fully prepared, and you always have been, so thank you for that. Item number 2, adoption of the agenda. Could I have a mover and a seconder? Councillor Merrill and Councillor Gallons. Any comments? Seeing none, all those in favor?
Yes.
Aye.
Item 3, declaration of conflict of interest or pecuniary interest. Anyone? Seeing none. Item 4, delegations, presentations, or petitions. 4.1, we had the RCMP report on Monday night. Any further comments? None. Item 5, public question period. 6, adoption of the minutes. Minutes of February 26th and 28th. 2024 council meeting. A mover and a seconder. Councillor Merrill and Councillor Gallons. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Yes.
Aye.
Item 7, action items. 7.1, the action items list. Any comments? Seeing none. Item 8, new business. 8.1, the Muskrat Jamboree request for a donation. The motion is, be it resolved, the Inuvik Town Council hereby approves an in-kind donation of the Muskrat Jamboree for the 2023 festival taking place from April 21st to 24th, 2023, to include the following. Donation of the Midnight Sun Complex Community Hall, Soroy Sudlu Arena Dry Floors Sound System, portable stage, pipes and drapes, barricades, tables, porta potties, and garbage bins, as per the application for donation, and building maintenance assistance of MSC staff during the festival at the MSC, as well as providing staff assistance to set up the river site. And need a mover and a seconder. Councillor Harder and Councillor Day. Any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor?
Yes.
Aye.
8.2. Conditional use permit for solar power farm and battery storage facility. The motion is, be it resolved that pursuant to the town of Inuvik land use bylaw 2583/P+D/15, conditional uses on 2 properties owned by the town of Inuvik are issued via development permit 24-06 regarding lot 6, block 3420, plan 21, and an unsurveyed area north of Gwich'in Drive as shown on the development permit application. Could I get a mover and a seconder? Councillor Merrill and Councillor Harder. Any discussion? Seeing none. Oh,
Sorry. My question was, is that, with the new lots being sold,
I'm sorry.
and our
not speaking.
development is next growth area is that area, is there another location, say, where we keep our gravel or somewhere else?
No, that area was actually chosen because that solar farm is going to be powering the rec complex. So it has to be, I would say, adjacent to the complex to be of any value.
I know they have meters on it, if they could just kind of compensate each other, maybe. Some kind of agreement there. Looking into, just so we
Anybody
can
else
keep
care to
that
comment?
for future development.
Director,
Pardon? Yes, if our director would like to step up to the mic and give your comments on Councillor Day's suggestion.
Okay, yeah, just like you said, Mayor, the plan for the solar farm is to power the Midnight Sun complex. So we have to use a lot that's pretty close because of all the wiring, and so we can't go too far away.
I understand that, but you know, there's meters on solar, there's meters on MSC. Can't they take that difference off of there and can't be done?
I don't understand the question. Can they take the difference?
Like, you know, the solar arrays are gonna put out a certain amount of power,
Yeah,
making that meter spin whatever way it spins. Can that be compensated from the meter here? So it can be at a remote location?
at a remote location. That's a question we'll probably have to put to the engineers, but I do, the way the solar panel system works, from my understanding, the solar farm would have to connect. So right now, the design is to have the solar farm where it's been designated, and it's gonna be, the wiring is gonna go all the way to the mechanical room in the MSC. So with the current design, there's no remote connection that can facilitate that. So unless the engineers can come up with a different design, we would have to connect to the mechanical room in the MSC.
Councillor Harder.
Thank you. So I understand that this is a extremely time sensitive matter. Due to that process, I'm not a huge fan of what's happening with it, but due to that fact, I think that we do need to go through with it, and I do appreciate you forwarding me the information on all the documents about it. I think that if our future plan is to rebuild in that location, then it absolutely makes sense. So, and I understand what Councillor Day is saying as well. It would look aesthetically better in another location of the community versus in that location where could potentially create some damage or just, you know, it's kind of an eyesore to the neighborhood. But yeah, no, I fully understand what I'm actually in agreement of that, but yeah, because this is a time sensitive matter, I think that we should.
Councillor Gallons.
I didn't see it in the documents you provided, but is it possible to build off of the solar farm down the road? So as things change, technology changes, how it's moved from one place to another, can that be something that's built off of the solar farm? So that,
You mean
like if you.
increasing the capacity of the solar farm, or you mean?
In the sense of like, if you need to either build around the solar farm or maybe move the solar farm down the road because technology changes, is that something that?
Yeah, so the current plan has the solar arrays on at-freeze piles, the same way we pretty much build most of our structure in town.
Yeah.
So if they need to be removed and moved, I'm sure that's something that can be accommodated in the future.
Okay, but the physical connection is for now, there has to be that physical.
Yes, so
connection.
right now, the array will be on the other side of the road, and then we're gonna dig a trench from there under the ground all the way across the road to the batteries will be right next to the MSC.
Yeah.
So there's gonna be a physical connection all the way there, and then from there to the mechanical room of the MSC.
So the other question I have is down the road, I'm not sure about the length of the connection that affects how the power moves from the solar farm to a building. So basically, there's room to run a longer line.
Oh, yes.
Move things around.
Yes, yes. As long as the array isn't obstructed and direct sunlight.
Yeah, so that line can be adjustable on
yeah.
length and.
Yes.
Just a reminder to everyone, be sure and use your microphones or you may not be recorded. Any further discussion, Councillor Merrill?
So have we ever done any geotechnical work in that area to make sure the ground is secure and we don't have any permafrost melting?
For the array.
Yes.
So unfortunately, this project started, I think, 2 years ago, maybe, but unfortunately, we only found out last week or 2 weeks ago when I was going through the paperwork that it was actually when our development officer sent all the paperwork to us, that was an unsurveyed land and all that kind of stuff. So right now, our infrastructure clerk is putting all the paperwork together. She's already connected with the finance team to put the application to the lands, the GNWT lands department. We're going to get that surveyed. We're going to get all of that paperwork in place so it becomes the town's property, and that includes having a geotech done.
Councilor Merrill?
So we don't know right now if it's secure enough to hold this site or if it's sliding in a year or two. We're gonna find out after it's already in place, is my question.
Peter Schultz.
Oh, Peter has his hand up.
Yes,
Thank
go
you.
ahead, Pete.
Thank you, through the chair. This particular development permit, we did amend the development permit over the last couple of days due to our conversation on Monday to correct the two errors. And I just want to reiterate, this is we use the word condition too much. This is a conditional development permit for conditional uses. And the conditional uses that are being approved is the use of public utilities on the two locations. There are 4 conditions after tonight if you approve this conditional use permit for the power infrastructure. The development permit has listed 4 conditions. The builder must finish those 4 conditions before I, as the development officer, will actually issue the development permit. Those 4 conditions include a drainage plan for the solar farm and renderings of the solar panels and the fence. A drainage plan would, this being the Arctic, would include a permafrost preservation strategy. The other 3 conditions, just while I have the COM, are a demolition agreement with the town for removal of the Quonset, final confirmation of the site plan and details on the battery storage facility, and an agreement with the town on the installation of the power line underneath the road.
Thank you.
Thank you for that. Any further questions? Okay, to the motion, all those in favor?
Aye.
Yes.
Opposed? Anyone opposed? Motion's carried.
Thank you.
Thank you, Peter. 8.3, Union of Northern Workers request for discount. The motion is, was there not a request for further information on this one as to how many members were involved?
There
and
was,
so
yeah,
on?
Councilor Devlin asked.
It was Councilor Devlin?
Yeah.
This comes from Dublin, I had some
Yep.
questions. So,
Yeah, Mayor, I asked the question. I asked the question on to see if there was any sort of justification behind the UNW request, as in this is a great benefit to the 1,000 members, but what benefit would there be to the general Inuvik public? And if they can explain that, then maybe we can consider this. But right now, it's just an ask for a taxpayer subsidy of a special interest group right now. So I have asked for administration to go back and ask the UNW for some extra justification on why the taxpayers should give them this discount. Thank you.
Okay. Obviously, we don't have the answer to that question yet, so maybe a motion to defer would be in order until the proper information is received. Councilor Gallons?
I could put that motion forward, Your Worship.
Okay, moved by Councilor Gallons, seconded by Councilor Merrill to defer to administration for further information. Is that satisfactory? Councilor Gallons?
But I take Councilor Devlin's point, and I think more information would be useful, and I think the biggest thing as well, and this is from, I think, you know, my perspective as the administration, it's a separate system, it's separate memberships, it's separate renewals, separate rates. So I think it'd be good to get the perspective of the administration on exactly what else that would entail on their part to actually implement this type of a membership, promotion.
I agree. Any further comments, Councillor Merrill?
There's probably not a lot of people around the table who were here when the rec center first opened and we tried group passes and they were wildly abused. If you remember, we actually pulled them back and didn't allow them anymore because they weren't being used by 10 people, they were being used by a huge number. There was a lot of work to demonstrate that they were being misused and costing us a tremendous amount of money. So I would be very concerned about looking at a group pass. And I too share the concern about why are the taxpayers subsidizing probably the best well-paid employees in town. Thank you.
Thank you for that. Anything further? On the motion to defer, all those in favor?
Aye.
Motion's carried. 8.4. Reallocation of capital funds for the water treatment plant. The motion is be it resolved that Inuvik Town Council grants approval for the reallocation of funds from the utility replacement project to be used for the water treatment plant, 150 kilowatt backup generator, water treatment plant piping replacement, and reservoir repair. I need a mover and a seconder. Councillor Merrill, Councillor Gallants, any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
9.1 bylaws. Third reading to bylaw 2731/LND/24. A bylaw to dispose of real property by way of sale. That's the property on Lagoon Road to Leo Peffer. A mover and a seconder. Councillor Merrill, Councillor Day. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Yes.
We have no department head reports. Information items 11.1 strategic priorities chart. Any comments? Item 12, council concerns. Any concerns? And Councillor Merrill.
It's more administrative, but for years, we actually had a large printout of the town map on the wall in the council chambers, which made it much easier to refer to where we're talking about. Could we please get one printed and put back up?
I'll see if we can. Yes,
Thank you.
that's a good idea. I didn't realize it was missing until you mentioned it. Anything further? Seeing none. We have no in-camera items, so I need a motion to adjourn. Councillor Gallants.
Forgot to request this on the agenda, but if I have a chance to say my farewell tonight, this is my last meeting. Does that be okay? So I want to say to the council as a whole, it's been a pleasure serving all of you. I know we had a mix of new councilors and experienced councilors, and I really liked that dynamic, new perspectives and experienced perspectives. What I also liked about our council was we had different perspectives on issues in front of us. And I really believe that the more perspectives that are shared in a discussion, the better that outcome's gonna be, and the better the way forward is gonna be for a solution. So I was very, very happy that we had good discussions. I think all of the council, all of our administration, our mayor, we are passionate about this community, and I'm sorry that I'm leaving. It's only for a year. We'll see what happens in a year. But I think we've got a really good team in place from the council, to the administration, to the staff, who put the residents first and do try and put their best interests first. And I think from the time I came home to where we are now, I think there's been growth economically. It's good to see that there's more culture again back in the community. More appreciation of people in general. I remember the warmth when I was growing up here that people had for one another and the willingness to get to know one another and talk to one another. To the new directors, I'm happy that you are where you are. I'm happy you're passionate about your role and really improving the services for our community. And to the administration, I'm happy that Akatasi is back up again. It's very difficult to do your jobs when we don't have a lot of staff in place in key positions and staff that can help things move forward for our residents. So with that being said, I do hope the discussions continue, and I do hope that they're very fulsome, and I hope that everyone's perspective is on the table for whatever issues in front of the council. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Councilor Gallons.
Thank you, Grant.
Everybody appreciates the hard work you put in.
Thank you.
I need that motion to adjourn. Councilor Gallons. All those in favor? Motion's carried. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Grant.
Thanks, Grant.